God wasn't the only one watching, so were surveillance cameras.
It's a commandment that is being ignored by those dipping into the till of area churches and religious institutions.
Well, the stealing happens at all levels.
But $100,000 thefts were happening left, right, and center.
Church Secretary Maureen Durrell asked for forgiveness after admitting she stole nearly $500,000.
It's very disappointing, and I hope if it is true that she will be punished to the full extent of the law.
If you gon' commit crime in the streets. If you gon' be a menace in the streets. If you chose the path of being a career criminal, I'ma need you to look like it. I'ma need you to put on a leather jacket with some goddamn biker pants and a black scully and walk around with a baseball bat. You can't be no criminal driving a Dodge Caravan, carpooling the kids to soccer practice. You can't be no criminal if you in the house of the Lord every Sunday with a dress on you got from Ross that cost you about $13. I can't stand a criminal in disguise. They fooling everybody. Dipping pretzel rounds and hummus, got everybody thinking that you're living such a righteous life. Making TikTok videos of you cooking Sunday dinner and the food looking nasty as hell. But people in the comment section, they lying like hell, saying it look good. Because they don't want to hurt your feelings. They feel like you're a good person. But if the people knew who you really was, they'll tell you the harsh truth about that Sid the Sloth cuisine you cooking. It look nasty as hell. Get the hell out the goddamn kitchen and take them kids to Popeyes. You risking their lives. That's how your TikTok comment section should be looking, you goddamn jigaboo. But anyways, a criminal in disguise ain't playing the game, Phil. It's kind of like seeing a candy bar. You think you got a Butterfinger, you take a bite into it, and I'll be damned, it's donkey. That's the type of game these criminal in disguises like to play, and it's disgusting. Like this one chick I was talking to, she was fine as hell. I thought I had me a nice piece of ass, but really she was a feces that came out of a donkey's ass. She stayed the night at my house one Saturday night. I woke up Sunday morning and she was gone. And all my collard greens was gone. I had like 3 grams. 2 pairs of Jordans were gone, which had me confused as hell. Like, damn, we wear the same size? Let me find out she gave my Jordans to her goddamn baby daddy. A half a bottle of Casamigos was gone. A Detroit Lion snapback was gone. And a bag of blue crabs I had in the goddamn refrigerator. Like, damn, she got me. I'm still trying to find her ass to this day. That was 6 years ago. But yeah, the same way she got me, these individuals did the same thing to the house of the Lord. They come in with they Ross, dress for less, Sunday's best that they paid $15.89 for, and they gained the trust of the congregation. And when you gain the trust of the people, that just opened up the gates for you to get your finesse on. Abusing the trust, the same way your mama used to abuse the back of that peasy ass head when you got out of line. Church embezzlement don't get talked about enough, but we gonna talk about it in this video. We gonna put these individuals on Front Street like they selling ass for $40, gaining the trust of the congregation with intentions of getting paid off of it. These are the actions of true villains. So let's talk about these villains.
Church employee embezzled more than $500,000 from our...
$500,000. Oh yeah, the church was showing complete negligence to the financial records. They should have hired somebody like me, because if they would have hired somebody like me, they would have checked them books every goddamn day. We need to watch him.
Own church. Melissa English served as financial secretary for nearly a decade. Actually, Jackson Nicholas Brooks spoke with the church's pastor and local residents who were shocked. Shocked and appalled. Like, oh my gosh, she been with us for 10 years. How could she do this? She been fooling y'all asses for 10 years. She probably drank wine coolers and played spades.
According to the Nassau County Sheriff's Office, an internal review uncovered personal expenses charged to a church credit card.
Charged to a church credit card. This lady was playing in y'all face. Man, she left all types of electronic evidence. Just confident as hell that y'all wasn't gonna catch on. Balling out on God's dime.
Including Amazon purchases, travel, concert tickets, and more. A full audit revealed unauthorized charges between January 2019 to October of 2024.
2019 to 2024. This lady went on a 5-year balling spree, putting up Allen Iverson numbers. Do it big then, like Bootsy and Lil Webby. But this ain't no ghetto story. It's a church story.
Totaling more than $570,000. She was terminated from her position shortly after these findings, according to the church.
It's very disappointing, and I hope if it is true that she will be punished to the full extent of the law.
Now that's what the hell I'm talking about. Let's get these criminals the hell off the streets. I'ma sleep a whole lot better tonight knowing that she in the clink. You goddamn thug. And when you really look at what she was spending the money on, you can easily tell she was trying to be a social media influencer. She went to SeaWorld, Airbnbs, cruise lines, baseball games, and helicopter flights over the Grand Canyon. She was trying to get her TikTok popping, trying to motivate her followers to be successful like her, just fooling the people, a complete fraud. They probably gonna give her 2 months of jail time and 2 weeks of probation. And then she gonna get a job at Bank of America as a financial analyst. And I'm dead ass serious. I mean, look at her. Of course she gonna get a slap on the wrist. Who we got next? Caitlin Fisher. I'm guessing she related to Derek Fisher because Shawty was balling like a Laker with that $300,000 she stole. Her most notable purchase was a four-wheeler. When I read that, I was like, I'll be damned. Shawty was a DMX fan. She seen that Rough Riders anthem music video and said, oh yeah, I gotta get like that. Whoa, oh, that's how Rough Riders roll. I feel you on that, Caitlin. I'm a huge DMX fan my goddamn self. The funny thing about this situation is this. She actually had time to get away. And when I say she had time, she had at least 2 years or better. The church members actually confronted her about this. She just denied it and kept it moving with her life. She should have said, oh damn, they own to me. Let me pack up everything and get the hell up out of Idaho and move to the mountains of West Virginia with my auntie. It's starting to get real hot in here. Let me get the hell on. But nah, you stayed. So eventually, they confronted you about it a second time, and you denied the allegation a second time. And what did you do after that? You stayed in Idaho. You see, when you choose a life of crime, you gotta know how to move. If you getting confronted about a crime that you know you guilty of, it's time to get the hell up out of town until things cool off. But nah, here you is in Idaho trying to blend in with the civilians. You're a criminal now. Act like it. But nah, you stayed in Idaho, and now they doing the audit on your PayPal and Venmo. They about to get all the evidence they need, and they about to lock your Barnes & Noble's Starbucks looking ass up. You should have fled town, but nah, you stayed and got charged with 15 felonies. Trying to give these people a sorrow story, talking about how your husband lost his job. Your husband being a loser does not justify you being a criminal. Listen to what the lawyer had to say. He did a terrible job justifying why his client is a gangster. I couldn't believe my ears.
There are embezzlement cases where you have clearly sophisticated actors who have ethical obligations and know what fiduciary responsibility means and are used to handling large sums of money, and they abuse their power over their victims to defraud others and inflict great harm. And this isn't one of those cases. My client does not have any formal training in accounting.
If she has no experience, why the hell they gave her that job then? Oh, let me guess, she was a great person that just warmed y'all hearts. Just off that, y'all gave her access to all y'all money. Wow.
And that's not an excuse. She's not a sophisticated actor in this situation. She doesn't have the, the ethical and accounting training that one might expect to have when having access to the amount of money that she was given access to. Another mitigating factor is the fact that, as was raised by one of the victim impact statements is in the PSI, my client did have legitimate medical expenses and issues that occurred with her family, her husband losing her job.
If her husband lost his job, then he the one that need to be out here committing crimes to make money. You the man of the house. Get you some baking soda in a Pyrex pot and make it do what it do. Got your wife out here embezzling church money.
Loss of insurance, combined with COVID and other stressors, specifically financial stressors, and worried about the health and welfare of her child, that did drive this. I think something in the order of $100,000 went straight to medical expenses.
$100,000 of illegal money went to medical expenses. What in the Breaking Bad is going on here? She the man of the house. Her husband is going to cheat on her while she locked up with a man.
There are people who embezzle money and have yachts and accounts in the Cayman Islands, and there are people who pay for mortgages and medical expenses.
Oh damn, she put the stolen money to great use. You can try your best to make this sound positive, but guess what? She's still going to prison for 3 years. And her husband is going to cheat on her with a man. And who we got next? Shelly Strickland. Do you know what Shelly wasn't being strict with? Vacations and fancy dinners. As a matter of fact, she was letting loose with the vacations and fancy dinners. That's where the majority of that $400,000 went that she stole. A church financial secretary living in a parsonage owned by the church. She was probably selling crack out of that parsonage. Got the Holy Land looking like the east side of Detroit. Junkies in and out. Yeah, that's right. I'm judging you. You're a criminal. The crazy thing about Shelly is this. She ain't just do this to one church. She did this to 5 churches. This lady is a criminal mastermind. She embezzled 5 churches.
After stealing more than $400,000 from a church, Shelly Strickland is charged with breach of trust. Police say she stole the money from First Baptist Church of Ware Shoals starting in 2019 until February of this year. This was going on for years. Officers say she used that money to take trips to the mountains and pay for expensive dinners. Strickland also worked at several other churches across Greenwood County.
It started off kind of slow, and then over the next couple years it advanced over where she was seen using it on going out to eat every night, going out on vacations several times throughout the year to Tennessee. Cruises were also seen on there as well. But there was no actual church activities going on the credit card, which is what the credit card was used for.
She ain't spent a dime on the church, and she been doing this since 2019. Again, negligence. Negligence by the church, I'll be damned.
Or was supposed to be used for.
And here are the files of evidence in the case. An incident report we obtained alleges she stole money from another church in Abbeville. The sheriff's offices in both Greenwood and Abbeville were also contacted.
This sounded like a RICO case. They about to hit Charlotte with that RICO, a Holy Ghost RICO. Man, these churches really need to start hiring people like me. You know, somebody that you're going to keep your eye on. One thing I did notice with most of these cases is this. Whenever these churches got new hires to their financial committee, it be the new hires that's doing all the telling. So if you out here committing church embezzlement and the church hires a new financial secretary to the team, 9 times out of 10, you about to get caught. They about to tell on you. The love of money is the root of all evil, and here's the goddamn proof.